the opinionated food guy who people either loved or hated, majority hated, and I'm like, I was fine with being hated. And it was
people were giving you hate.
Oh, bro, you'd be surprised how deep people take their food. Like literally, I've gotten death threats.
Are you serious?
Over my food opinions. I've gotten people get very racial about their food. You know what I mean? I get people who get visceral.
Deep.
Bro, I had posted a video about like liking scrambled eggs opposed to like hard-boiled eggs, and I had a guy in my DMs like you, and I'm not going to cuss here, but he used some expletives. He used some slurs about my opinion on eggs. And I had to reply like, bro, chill. Yeah. I'm talking about eggs. Like, you are taking this too far, bro.
It's like... Sweet. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
God, if I ever like just kind of like start looking like I'm looking off into a distance, it's not just because I'm zoning out. It's because I'm just getting lost in the lusciousness of that voice. Of that voice, baby. My goodness, I could talk to my boy Stefan Johnson all day. For anyone that doesn't know him, I mean, get under a rock, because if you're not on TikTok, if you're not on Instagram, I would believe it'd be hard to. I wouldn't believe you if you said that you didn't at least hear his voice once in a while. But now we're putting a face to the voice, especially if you're here in Northeast Ohio, because you do a lot of Bally stuff. You're on commercials, a lot of voiceover stuff. But I mean, huge on TikTok. 7.7
million.
7.7. But who's counting?
No one's counting.
Yeah. So we're gonna with the Love in the Land podcast, we're gonna bump those numbers up to 7.71.
I'll take every last little bit.
Yeah.
Every last little bit counts.
So I get at least 9 followers out of this.
Sure.
Yeah, that's worth 2 hours of your day.
There we go.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Stefan Johnson, voiceover artist, TikTok star, food critic, and also just known as the Snack Daddy, baby. Oh my gosh.
Well, you're the Cleveland snack of morning news, right?
I'm the snack of Cleveland morning news, baby. That's right. So that's why Stefan and I really get along so well, because we're both snacks in some way. I think you're more of the devourer of the snacks. Yeah.
But I mean, like, it's the same thing. Like, I'm like left Twix, you're right Twix, right?
I love. Oh yeah. So which one's your favorite Twix? Is it left Twix or right Twix?
You know, I like the subtlety of right Twix, but sometimes you just want that boldness of the left Twix. So I think I'm digging the left Twix. You know
my goodness, even just the breakdown of the left to right Twix. I mean, that is inspirational stuff, dude. Thank you so much for coming in. What is your life looking like right now? We did a segment last year, it was around like September or October, where we drove around and ate some Cleveland food, and you know, that was a lot of fun. We had the Slimans. We went to a few Larder, a few different places. But what's your life looking like these days?
Oh, I mean, basically, it's just a wake up voiceover after voiceover, and then you're going to record the content, of course, then a lot of editing, and then I'm going out recording more content, and then family. Bought a house last year.
Look at you.
You know, just
all that TikTok money.
All that TikTok money, paying dividends. You know what I mean? Yeah. Life's good right now.
That's awesome, man. And you are a Cleveland guy too. So you know, what's funny is that I followed you first on TikTok just because I'm like, this guy is hilarious, you know, also the booming voice, the luscious voice, all of that. I was just sucked right in. But then I was like, oh, dude, Cleveland guy. I got to like interview this guy. And thankfully, like, you're super generous with your time and wanting to come in. What was it like growing up in Cleveland? Where'd you grow up? What's your experience been like here?
No, well, I grew up on Huff. It was 81st and Huff before I moved to 79th and Huff. And it was a rough area. But luckily, my little pocket was kind of the little quiet sector of the rough area, so I didn't have too much trouble.
Sure.
But my neighborhood was like, if you go too far this way, or this way, things got real. So but I always managed to kind of stay out of trouble. Graduated from Martin Luther King High School in 2008, then went to the Ohio Media School, formerly the Ohio Center for Broadcasting, and then discovered music, discovered voiceover, and things started to kind of take off from there.
You didn't discover voiceover like the day you came out of the womb, or did you come out being like, wah?
Oh, no. Well, my voice dropped when I was about 12. Like, I had instances where, mind you, I'm like 12, 13 years old. I'm calling girls' houses or whatever it is with this voice. Yeah. Their father picks up. And when I pick up with this voice, you know what I mean? And then I have to go over
what is this 40-year-old wanting with my 12-year-old daughter?
Oh, bro, I'd have to go over girls' houses and explain myself. Like, yo, look, bro, I'm 12. You know what I mean? This isn't some geriatric man calling your 12-year-old daughter. Like,
I'm 4'11", sir. Yeah, there's no problems here. But you've basically had this voice since that long?
12 years old, bro.
Was it just like one day you were all the way up here and then the other day you're like, I am Stefan Johnson?
I think it was like a gradual thing. I can't really pinpoint the exact moment, but like people started to point it out, and I'm like, oh wow, this is a little different, huh? You know?
Yeah.
Here we are.
And here you are making a career out of the lusciousness of your voice. And if you didn't, I think you would have because like there's people that I I talk to a lot of people, and it's like, man, you would have had a great radio career. Like, people would, if you were like in sales or something like that, I think everyone and their brother would be like, dude, why aren't you in radio? And here you are.
You know, I mean, I kind of got that my whole life, like, because the whole reason I got into the Ohio Media School was because people always said you should do radio.
Yeah.
Before I even discovered what voiceover actually was. And then people said, oh, you should do podcasting, you should do like hosting or whatever it is. And then I went to school, started to play around with all the forms of media, whatnot, and then I discovered voiceover from there. But people always said, oh, you should do radio, you should do something with that voice, you know?
Yeah. When did you look at this and be like, all right, I could make this into a career? Was it in high school? Were you doing things in high school or a little bit later?
A little bit, no, I'll say like probably the senior year of high school, because I was a slacker and I was in a band that was pretty popular. You know what I mean? Like I was a C average student at best.
That's same, man. C's get degrees, dude. Exactly. That's what it's all about. Yeah, just get through.
Just get it done. No bells and whistles.
Yeah, and then just try to have a decent personality.
Exactly.
You know,
be a nice person. But then I got to senior year. I'm like, okay, maybe I should start to take life seriously. My guidance counselor was like, hey, you got this voice. Here's this pamphlet for Ohio Broadcasting School. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'll be a Rover, an Alan Cox. Maybe I'll be a Ricky Smiley. Maybe I'll be a disc jockey. And then, again, still during school there, I'm like in a band. We were pretty popular. It was a pop punk band here in Cleveland. And
give them a shout. What was the band's name?
We were at 1,000 Hours. We named ourselves after a Green Day song because before we started writing music, we just covered a bunch of Green Day stuff.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's the only thing we could do. Three chords, no problem.
Stick with the classics.
Exactly. So I didn't even take it seriously then because we were popular. We wanted to do like Warped Tour, and we wanted to do like Leeds Festival. We wanted to travel, do the music thing. But then people started having babies, getting married. We started getting old. You know what I mean?
My goodness. Yeah.
Turned out the band wasn't going to be the long-term thing for us.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, this voiceover thing, let me take it seriously. Wasn't even taking it seriously then because I was a concierge at the Hilton downtown.
Okay.
I'm thinking like, maybe I'll get my what do they call them? Like my wings, to be like a world-class concierge.
Yeah.
But then I realized, kind of hate my job. And then I'm like, you know what I mean? Let me start taking this voiceover thing seriously. Built a studio, got some agents, got some clients, and here we are like 8 years later. It's a full-time gig.
You would be a stellar concierge because if I'm walking up to you and you tell me to go to anywhere, like, go try this sushi place over here, I'm like, dude, absolutely. Like, don't give me any other options. Like, I will take your word as Bible.
Yeah, and it's like weird now because now I'm actually in the food space, and back then I was kind of flying by the seat of my pants. You know, the Hilton had just opened for the RNC, and they recruited a bunch of people who were just good at talking to people. I knew nothing about the city. Even though I had lived here my whole life, I knew nothing about the food scene here, and I had to kind of just learn it. And even by the time I ended up leaving the Hilton, I didn't really know much about the Cleveland food scene.
Sure.
And now I look back now, like, oh dang, if I would have known.
I told some people some bad advice.
Honestly, I gave some people some rough recommendations I knew nothing about. And you have to lie to. At least I lied. I'd be like, oh yeah, I go to this place weekly. They have the best tartare in the city, whatnot. I hadn't eaten there once. You know what I mean?
Because with concierge, do they kind of will restaurants around the city pay the Hilton pay you? Were you getting under the table money for this? Nice.
Restaurant owners will come in to my desk weekly and be like, hey, suggest us to people coming in. We'll give you a kickback or whatnot. And I had never stepped foot in a restaurant. And I was just like, oh, okay, I'll get $20 for every reservation. Yeah, sure, let's do it.
I'll send people to the Steel Yard Applebee's for days, man.
You know what I mean? Honestly. And I did that for a minute until one of the senior concierge there, Anthony, shout out Anthony if you're listening to this at all. Yeah. But he was like a veteran. He had come from he was deep in the trenches of like the Cleveland concierge scene, and he started to kind of take me under my wing.
He came from the salt mines of Lake Erie.
Exactly, you know what I mean? He started to kind of guide me and help me get my life together, you know what I mean, as far as the concierge side of things at the Hilton goes. You know?
Sure, yeah. Well, congratulations. I didn't realize that you were a concierge.
Yeah, I did that for about 2 years at the Hilton, and then for like maybe 6 months at the Ritz-Carlton.
Look at us go. Yeah. Just getting to know each other. My goodness. So then now, I mean, you're wildly popular and have been able to make your voice a career. And just really kind of, forgive me but you got the big jump and the big boost on TikTok.
Yeah.
And tell me how that kind of started, how you kind of got into TikTok. Was it something that you were like, all right, I'm going to use this platform as a way to boost my career, or was it initially just to have fun?
No, it started off just to have fun. You know, it really kind of boosted or came to my forefront with COVID.
Yeah. I mean, that's it's so wild. TikTok hit the exact right time.
Exactly.
If it came out maybe a few years earlier, you know, I don't know what it would have been. Who knows? But like I think it had been out for 6 to 8 months. I'd kind of been on it for 6 to 8 months at that point. But then when everyone was home, it was like, I got nothing else to do. I see all these TikTok trends. Let's do a stupid dance video.
Yep, that was me. Like literally, I just kept hearing about this thing called TikTok, and then I finally downloaded the app, and I'm like, oh, it's almost like Vine, but just like 1 minute videos. So I'm like, maybe I'll make some videos to make my friends laugh. And I made a video about my top favorite breakfast sandwiches, and I woke up the next day, had like 2 million views, and I'm like, dude, maybe we have something here.
You already had it like in you, because that is like the #1 thing on TikTok. It's like lists, ranking. Like I could see someone just randomly and being like, this idiot. Like
exactly. It creates like controversy, and
it
people
does
like to give their opinions on it. And I made a follow-up video, and then all of a sudden I became like the food guy, the opinionated food guy who people either loved or hated. Majority hated, and I'm like, I was fine with being hated. And it was
people were giving you hate.
Oh, bro, you'd be surprised how deep people take their food. Like literally, I've gotten death threats.
Are you serious?
Over my food opinions. I've gotten people get very racial about their food. You know what I mean? I get people who get visceral.
Deep.
Bro, I had posted a video about like liking scrambled eggs opposed to like hard-boiled eggs, and I had a guy in my DMs like you, and I'm not going to cuss here, but he used some expletives. He used some slurs about my opinion on eggs. And I had to reply like, bro, chill. I'm talking about eggs. Like, you are taking this too far, bro.
It's like, I am not talking about social politics or anything like that. We are talking about hard-boiled versus
I used to brag about how my sector of the internet was the most unproblematic. I'm not talking politics, religion, race, or anything. I'm thinking no one can really hate someone over food until I got that DM, and I'm like, there are some mentally just off people in the world.
There is something about food though too, because like I do a decent amount of food stuff with WKYC, and I don't come out and say. Rarely I do. I'll be like, this is the best. This is the best. Yeah. I did post just randomly. Yeah. I was at Slyman's. I posted a picture of a corned beef sandwich, which is like, you know, awesome. Yeah. I said, man, the best corned beef sandwich in Cleveland. Right. And it got like 5,000 people liking it, like 1,000 comments. Yeah. And people were like getting pissed. There is something about food, because I think it's like it's some people have an identity with it because if they eat it every day, but then there's also memories tied to it. Like my mom made eggs this way. Like probably that guy, his mom made eggs a certain way, and he was just like, and had maybe a tough relationship with his mom or something. And just mommy issues.
You know what I mean? Honestly, and especially you talking about the corned beef, because it can get cultural. Yeah. It can get nostalgic, and you know what I mean? And then even between the two Slimans, there's the one down here, and then there's the one out, what is it, Independence or whatnot. There's like a little mini battle rivalry there or whatnot. People get passionate about that.
And then East Side, West Side in Cleveland too.
Yeah. So I mean, it can just snowball. Honestly. Yeah.
That's crazy though. So so you start getting some traction. When was it like? Because this is what is, if you don't mind me asking, like I'm not asking you how much money you make, but like your percentage wise of like income of like voiceovers to like commercials to TikTok. I mean,
I got you. Yeah. Well, voiceover is still by far the breadwinner. Just because it's like the TikTok stuff and the social media, whatnot, it just all eventually leads back to voiceover, because I get so many voiceover gigs based off of my food videos.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So you got the TikTok Creator Fund and the YouTube Creator Fund and stuff like that. So the sites pay you, and then like this brand deals, like McDonald's will reach out and say, hey, let's talk about this, and we'll pay you this amount of money or whatnot. But by and large, I get a email or multiple DMs daily with companies saying, oh, I heard you on this video. We'd love to have you do some voiceover for us.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's every day, opposed to like maybe a couple times a week, couple times a month, or the one-time payment a month of the creator funds. You know what I mean? So by and large, the voiceover is still paying the bills, you know?
And that's also like I think a lot of people get either, if they're not, I mean, you're an anomaly. You've blown up on TikTok. You've really been able to capitalize on it. But even if you're just like me, I have like 10,000 followers on TikTok.
That's
like
massive,
it's not massive, but it's like big. I have followers. Yeah. And then Instagram, I have like 6,000, something like that. But I've been able to grow a brand still to where people know who I am, you know, and know what kind of I'm there and talking about. But the fact that some people look at it and they're like, it's stupid. It's like, I'm not getting any traction on that or anything. But it's like, it's free marketing.
That's what I tell people. The social media thing, it's free marketing, free branding, it's free networking, honestly, because you have the power to do whatever you want and say whatever you want and put whatever image you want out. And then instantly, depending on how the algorithm picks you up, you can have 1 million people looking at your brand in 24 hours. And even on the smaller side of that, you have if you get 5,000 views on a video, that's 5,000 people who would not even know you exist.
Yeah.
Unless you posted something and it's for free.
Yeah.
And then you got these people who want to scoff at it like it's a trend, like it's something beneath them or whatnot. Bro.
Yeah, this internet thing's going to really die out soon.
Bro, literally. Like, you know what I mean? And I get friends who get discouraged. Like, I only got 3,000 views on this video. They look at like a video of mine and it gets like 1 million views or whatnot. Like, bro, 3,000 people. That's like filling up a stadium.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how many people you have on your brand right now.
That really is a
free.
good way of looking at it. I mean, you're filling up countries, but
Bro,
still.
honestly though, like you have like 3,000 people. That's 3,000 bodies, 6,000 eyes looking at what you did for free.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need to utilize it.
And you know, you've just taken off over the past 3 years there. What's been kind of like the pinch me moment maybe on TikTok for you where you were like, wow, like this is a heck of a door or opportunity that opened?
Well, I mean, when people who I grew up watching on TV started to like reach out to me and say they were fans of what I do.
Really? Who?
Yeah, bro. Oh, man.
Name drop, baby.
So me, I'm like a massive WWE head.
Yeah.
And like literally like when wrestlers started to reach out, like The Big Show, started following me on Twitter.
Yeah.
When Becky Lynch followed me on Instagram and DM'd me. When like you get like all like Cleveland Browns players reaching out to me. I had people in the music scene. Like I may or may not have Flow Rider's number. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I may or may not have Timberland's contact. You know what I mean?
Do we call Flow Rider right now? No.
Oh, bro.
No, we're not.
No, we can't do that. But you know what I mean? Like, it's literally just a eye-opener to say, like, I love my fans and I love people who, like, appreciate me, but it's kind of just another, like, kick in the gut when you get...
Kicking the tuchus. Yeah.
I almost used a bad word.
We can beep it out. Swear, we'll just beep it out. Yeah.
No, but like it's another like hit when you like people who you idolized for years are saying that they're a fan of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's humbling. I may or may not have shed a tear with a few of these interactions. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, to be able to get that recognition, especially for something that you're deeply passionate about too, I think that goes the extra mile.
Right. You know, and I mean, it's like one thing where like I was working these more traditional jobs here in Cleveland, I was always able to make like a progressive movement, good pay, a type of job where most people would say, oh, wow, this is like a great opportunity.
But it was a job.
It was a job. I was working for somebody else, and it was like something I wasn't passionate about. And then when I decided that I needed to take that plunge to pursue this voiceover thing, even at the beginning when I wasn't making too much money, it was like just such a driving force behind me because it was something I really cared about and I really loved doing. I don't care if I only made $200 that week. It was something I was passionate about.
Yeah. And besides passion, you know, you can have passion but necessarily maybe not drive. What was the drive that got you over that hump of being like, all right, let's rock and roll?
Well, when I decided I was going to take that plunge, I talked to my wife and then girlfriend, and I laid it out on the line. I said, I want to do this, but I can't guarantee that it's going to take off.
Yeah.
And she said, I got you. She, of course, was still working full time. And
what a ride or die.
Bro. And that's why I knew I had to put that ring on it. And she said that, you know, I got us in case things falter or whatnot.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I need to make this work for her. Because she deserves to be taken care of now. Because she proved to me that she is, like you said, that ride or die.
Yeah.
And that was probably that driving force. I needed to prove it to her that she wasn't wasting her time with some bum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a powerful thing, but also how you know that you have the right partner with you.
For sure. You know what I mean? I'm glad I found her before things really started to take off for me because it's funny when you get like bigger, you never know who's really for you.
Sure.
I know she's for me because she's been rocking with me before I was anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you now have that? Do you have a little bit of a filter of this person likes me because I'm famous, or this person likes me for me? Is there a way that you try to filter that out, or is
it's tough, but a lot of people make themselves known because if they start asking for favors, first conversation, it's kind of a telltale.
That's
but then you get people who are super nice to you, and then you find out afterwards, or they find out afterwards, who you are or whatnot. But I try not to go into it with too much of a paranoia, because that could be toxic too. Yeah. So I just try and take it as it comes,
Just so you know, I just like you because you're famous.
Well, vice versa. You know what I mean? Vice versa, bro.
Just kidding. No, I've had so much fun getting to know you, man. And this is a lot of fun. So here's a question for you. Your tool, much like a surgeon, their tools are their hands, and me, it's my hair, I don't have anything else besides that. What do you do to make sure that your voice stays luscious and silky and smooth?
Oh, well, one, staying hydrated.
Yeah?
Keep water. I always keep tea at the house.
What kind of tea are you rocking with?
There's this one really good one by Traditional Medicinal. It's called Throat Coat.
Okay.
It's a good one just to kind of, it helps, I feel like it helps just kind of relax the larynx.
Okay.
But then it's also kind of a renowned voiceover remedy for if something is going on in here, a little sore throat, a little bit of scratchiness or whatnot. It just kind of just soothes all ailments. I don't know the medicine or science behind it.
Sure.
I don't know.
You just know it works. And that's the best kind of medicine.
It may be a placebo effect. I could be just giving into the hype, folks. But
but even if it's a placebo, it still works. I believe in placebo effects.
I believe in it.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
What I mean? So that tea, water, honey, that's pretty much it. And always cold weather, just protecting the instrument. You know what I mean? Just making sure you're bundled up.
Yeah. So are you ever going to leave Cleveland because this is not good for the instrument? The elements.
Well, the thing is that I'd rather deal with the 30-degree, 20-degree foot of snow in the winter than go to California and deal with an earthquake.
I get that.
Wildfire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That is the thing. I'm walking outside and it's snowing. It's cold. I haven't seen the sun in 3 weeks, but I'm like, at least we don't have hurricanes. Mm-hmm. We don't have tsunamis.
Yep.
So that's something that just keeps you going a little bit.
Yeah, I got a cousin who stays in Clearwater, Florida, and every year she has to batten down the hatches because hurricane season. And I'm like, you don't want to come back up north? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't deal with that. I don't got it in me.
Just rent a hotel or know someone with a condo.
I thought about snowbirding. I thought about maybe come October, November of every year, have some kind of property out west, and maybe I spend 3 months, 4 months out there. I think Cleveland is home.
Yeah.
I've been able to do everything I'm doing here. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. And now it's probably even 5, 6, and definitely 10 years ago, if you wanted to do what you were doing, you'd probably have to be in LA.
Yeah, the advent of the internet, or the prominence of the internet, has definitely helped everything. Just because.
And then also the pandemic too, of now everything has become remote because everyone's learned that you can do remote.
Yeah, even 2 or 3 years ago, I wouldn't be able to do what I've done for Cartoon Network or Discovery Channel or Nickelodeon, just because even though the internet was prominent, the bigger studios still wanted you there.
Yeah.
They still wanted you to be in Orlando, New York, LA to record with their engineers in person. But the pandemic, if they wanted to keep the productions going, they had to give in and let people record from their home studios. And I am elated at the fact that after the pandemic, that they are still utilizing people's home studios.
Sure. And talking a little bit about that, you've TikTok, commercials. Talk a little about how you've gotten recently into TV shows, and the newest one's the Scott Pilgrim anime on Netflix. That is huge,
Yeah.
Tell me about how that door opened up and now your role with it.
Well, that came through my agent, my LA agent, SBV. And, even when you have an agent, a lot of people don't understand, when you have an agent, you still have to audition. You still have to put yourself out there.
And you have to pay the agent.
You know what I mean? You get 20%. And
20%?
20.
Wow.
20.
Oh, it's different in the TV game.
No,
it's the standard is 10%.
20 over here.
Yikes,
20 over here.
man.
Yeah, and it's relatively fair. You know what I mean?
But again, it's I would rather have 20 80%, or I'd rather have 80% of $1 million than
and they're really good
100% of zero.
And they're really good at negotiating by having that 20%. They're good with negotiating that 20% is an additional. So like, let's say the gig is like a $10,000 gig. They're really good at negotiating extra money to cover that, so we don't see it. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So that's how it usually works out. But anyway, my agent sent me the opportunity, and again, nothing's ever guaranteed. And I've kind of learned to not. What's the word?
Put too many eggs in the basket.
You know what I mean? I've learned to kind of just try and pick and choose my battles with my auditions, because you get a lot of auditions all day, and if you try and tackle them all, something's going to falter. And usually, an anime something is not going to be something I normally go for, but you also miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah.
So auditioned, but you got to kind of set and forget it. So I had even forgot I auditioned, and then the week later, my agent calls me like, "Oh, they want you for a callback," and I'm like, "Okay, cool." Even the callbacks, you got to kind of just set it and forget it. Don't put too much stake into the game. And then they called me back like the day later and like, "When are you available to record?" And I'm like, "Huh, okay, cool." And I grew up watching Scott Pilgrim, the movie or whatever it is. And I'm like, "Oh, this is really happening." And then a week later, we recorded the 10 episodes all in one day. It took about 2 hours to record, and then that was back in February. And it just debuted like 3 weeks ago or whatnot. So I'm sitting on it for like 9 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not allowed to say anything, NDAs and all that stuff. And when it premiered, I started getting all these phone calls, and I started getting, because one of my lines is the first line in the entire series.
Really?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people just instantly recognized it. And I started getting calls, texts, DMs, like, "Oh my God, you're on Scott Pilgrim." I hadn't even announced it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I recorded it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of a whirlwind, and it's still kind of snowballing from there, you know?
So is that something that you want to continue to do, is be like a voice actor? Like, you're still a voice, what do you say, a voice-over artist?
Like voice talent, like it's kind of like the all-encompassing term.
Sure, but then you kind of want to bring this into more of a...
like more like on the acting side of things. Yeah, and that's something I'm still getting training for too, because I could do
It's a different voice.
Promo. It is. It's a different set of skills with your toolbox. And like me, I could do commercials and promos all day. But as far as like character acting, you know, I needed to kind of sharpen the iron, if you will. So that's where I even signed up for the Hood School of Acting here in Cleveland to learn the Meisner technique and a little improv and stuff like that.
Sure.
Again, just to kind of learn to not just be Mr. Promo and commercial, to kind of be able to mold a character if the situation ever called for it. Yeah,
man, that's so exciting, though. Man, and he's I knew him when, unreal. So what would you say that your like ultimate goal would be in your career as you're sitting here right now?
Got you. I mean, like the cliche thing with a lot of us voiceovers, and I fall into that cliche, is a movie trailer, blockbuster movie trailer. That's probably the one thing that I've wanted to do on this side of things that I haven't done yet. I've done a lot of indie movie trailers, and I've done a lot of like smaller films or whatnot, but I haven't done that blockbuster trailer yet. And it's funny because I'm actually friends with 2 or 3 of the guys who are like the voices doing the blockbuster movie trailers or whatnot.
Really?
And it's a very small catalog of people.
I was going to say, it seems like there's 5.
There's like 4 or 5. There's like 2 girls and 3 gals. 2 girls and 3 guys. Mm-hmm. And once you break into it, you do all the work, especially since about 10 years ago, Don LaFontaine, he passed. He was the guy. He was doing everything.
Yeah.
And when he passed, it opened up to about 2 or 3 guys. And then as of the last few years, the studios have been letting a few more female voices get into the game too. But it's like those 5 folks are dominating it, and it's only going to be those 5 until like another timber is needed or until one of those falls off. So it's really hard to break into that little category of things. But once you're in there, you'll do everything.
What I think is minor discrimination is that they never have a pipsqueak voice in there. You know, it's always the God voice.
Yeah, you know what I mean. That's the one.
We need a voice for the pipsqueaks.
That's the one area where like the conversational read has not blown up, because as of the last few years on the commercial promo side, even like the TV side of things, people don't want the booming voice of God anymore. People want the guy next door because it's more relatable. But trailer is still the one area where they need that one man, one desire. You know what I mean? That's where they still want that, and that's what's in demand right now.
Yeah. So I mean, you did something. You did a voiceover today, and I'm just because of NDA, I'm not gonna.
No, I got you. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Or can you say who it is?
No, I can say. Yeah. I have a client with the Discovery Channel, and we do a show. I do dubbing for a Dutch Coast Guard show. And basically, the show is all, obviously Dutch, and it airs on American broadcast and American YouTube or whatnot. And I am the voice of one of their captains.
Okay.
And I just got to overdub the Dutch, speaking. Yeah.
How does it? You didn't go into that detail. That is interesting.
Yeah. So it's like, I patch in with their producers. They play the video on. I try and match the timing of their voice or the timing of their speaking as much as possible, just to kind of make it sync with the video or whatnot. And they picked me because I have a similar timbre and voice to the actual captain or whatnot.
Okay.
But it's just overdubbing. You know what I mean? It's like almost like the Telemundo type of, not Telemundo, but like, if you're watching something
sure,
Spanish,
with subtitles. Yeah,
exactly.
Sure. Yeah. So when, like today they kind of called you on a whim, is there like a warm-up routine that you need to do? Like what do you walk me through that a little bit?
Well, I just wake up and I start doing like, I don't know if any like singers are out there, like the vocal trills, like that type of thing, just kind of warm up the body. And then like I might do maybe a little karaoke, maybe a little Josh Turner, honestly.
Josh Turner, I'm your man. That one?
Baby, lock the door and turn the lights down low. I'll sing for maybe about 10 minutes. And then I got a tongue twister book here and there. And I try and do like 30 minutes of warm ups because you just never know.
30 minutes?
Yeah, like 30 minutes. Because you never know how long these sessions are going to be. So you really got to make sure the tongue is loose, the lips are loose, the throat is relaxed.
What is your tongue twisters? What's your favorite one?
Oh God, it's the classic rubber baby buggy bumpers, you know what I mean? And me, I have a pretty predominant lisp that I have to fight every day.
You do?
Yeah, I fight it every day. Like if you listen back, you'll catch it. I hide it pretty well, but if you're looking for it, it'll come up. But
is that something that you've had to, like when you were growing up, did you have a lisp or did you?
The funny thing is, I probably had it my whole life, but I had no idea I had it until the internet started to tell me I had a lisp. On TikTok, like the first year on TikTok, people started to say, oh, his lisp is so weird. Oh, his lisp is so cute. Oh, wow, how do you work with that lisp in voiceover? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I started to listen back at my videos, my old voiceover demo, and I'm like, SOB, I do have a lisp. And then it started to bug me.
I'm trying to hear it.
Oh no, it's there. I promise you. If you zone in, you'll hear it. I posted a video yesterday.
Yeah.
And like the first couple of words, it's super there. I even had to I had to mention it in the description of the video because it was just bugging me. And I'm like, I want to mention it before someone else mentions it. It's part of the reason why I got my teeth corrected because I had a massive gap. But I had Invisalign last year to kind of just help with that. And I've been in speech therapy for the last year or so too to kind of help me get over it.
Leave it to the internet just to pull something, an insecurity that you didn't even know that you had. What the heck?
Bro, honestly. Yeah, so I've had it and the internet just kind of brought it to my attention. And even I just forgot the original question you asked me that led me to that.
I don't even know. The warm-up stuff. Yeah,
so like the warm-ups. Oh, she sells by the seashore because that's one to kind of help me break out that list because all the S sounds.
Sure.
So that's a go-to warm-up of mine, just to kind of just break myself out of that, just to learn how to manage it for that day. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Yeah. So. Kind of going on that a little bit. I was, I'm from Northern Illinois, so it's right near Wisconsin. And, growing up, I was like, I have no accent. I am a Midwest boy, and I don't sound like I'm from, Boston or the South or whatever it may be. And then I sent a tape to someone in LA, and they were like, yeah, you're good. You got, good chops, and you just sound like you're from Canada. And I was like, honestly. I do.
Yeah.
And I had to really, he kind of pointed it out to me. I was like, okay. And okay. And now looking back on it, I was like, I might have been like Austin from Sheboygan because I was like, oh yeah, they're, hey, welcome to the news here today. We're really excited to have you. I'm like, good. So that's something that, and now I look back, I've even shown my wife videos of when I was in my first station in Rockford. She's like, you don't even sound like yourself.
Oh, bro. So actually with this Bally Sports stuff, they were the ones that kind of helped me realize that I do have some kind of accent, whatever you want to call it, Northwestern, because or North, whatever we are.
Yeah, and a Great Lakes accent.
The Great Lakes accent, because recently with the in-season tournament, we were starting to record those spots, and I'm doing Cavaliers for the in-season tournament, or I'm saying tournament. I was saying Cavaliers are in the in-season tournament, and she's like, oh, okay, well, I think it's your accent breaking through, Stefan. Can you say tournament instead of tournament? And I'm like, oh, my accent. I'm like, okay, in-season tournament. Yeah, your accent's still coming through, Stefan. And I'm like, so, Margot, what accent are you talking about? I'm trying to be nice, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, he's still hearing a little bit of that Midwestern twang. And I'm like, I don't think I have a Midwestern twang, Margot, but let's see, let's try and work past it. You know what I mean? And then I'm listening back, and I'm listening to other VOs, and I'm listening to other spots for like Fox or whatever it is. I'm like, oh, there is a difference.
Yeah.
And then I'm listening to other Midwesterners. I'm like, oh, I do talk like that, huh? Okay, so you know,
that's all right.
Realization. Other people bringing those insecurities upon us.
Well, you know, it kind of comes with the territory. Yeah. When your job is literally to talk and, you know, present news, or in your case, you know, do promos. Yeah. People call you out on all different things. Every day. You know, all the time. Yeah. The other day, a lady told, what was it? Man, I was saying something, and she called. I say a lot. Yeah. You know, I don't know. It's just like some of those things where people just like, you're doing a great job, honey. Just so you know, don't say it that way. But people are, I am with like that with names and names of towns. If you screw up, so when I first got here, I was pronouncing, I'd never heard of it. It was, you know, Worcester, Ohio. I pronounced it Wooster.
I thought it was Wooster.
No, it's not.
It's Worcester?
Worcester. It's spelled Wooster, but it's Worcester, and not, because I was like, Wooster.
I've been saying Worcester for all 34 years of my life.
Oh, hey, you learned something today.
And I don't plan on stopping. Now it's Worcester. No.
Well, because I know that, because the moment I said it, I got like 3 emails. And they were like, you idiot. Go back to Illinois, idiot.
I had no idea. I learned something today, folks. Wow.
Yeah, right? Yeah, but and then I will not call someone their name unless I am 110% sure of the name. Bro,
that's why everybody's boss or chief with me, because I'm notorious for just not knowing names or mispronouncing names. And even if I know your name, like for sure, it's just such a habit just to call everybody boss or chief, because I am so terrible with pronouncing, remembering, or pronouncing correctly.
Yeah,
name, you know?
Yeah. It's like you said, it's easy with guys, because there's a lot of covered names for guys. Yeah. They can be like, what's up, bro? What's up, dude? What's up, man? What's up, chief? What's up, boss? With women, it's a little harder. I'm not, because it's kind of insulting if I like call like a woman, what's up, bro? Like, you know,
just say sis. I'll just like, hey, what's up, sis?
Yeah, I can't do that. Yeah.
No, it's awkward, but it's like, I'd rather call them sis opposed to call them Carol and the name is Beth. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. All right. So, one thing I wanted to talk to you about that has kind of become your brand is the snack wrap, the McDonald's snack wrap. Do you believe it's coming back?
See, and that's the thing. McDonald's has lied to us so many times again, bro. And it's like I have Stockholms at this point where it's like I almost want to embrace the lie, when I embrace the abuse. But I don't know. They mentioned it in a marketing meeting. So you would hope.
Did they bring you up by name?
I don't think they did this time.
Okay.
They've talked about me before.
Actually?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like they follow me on TikTok and they follow me on McDonald's.
So they're fans of you.
They may not be fans, because I haven't always said the best thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But maybe they at least want to keep tabs on me just to see what visceral lava I'm going to spout about them this week. You know what I mean? But they're aware of me. They know I exist, for better or for worse.
It's got to feel good, though.
Yeah. It's a eye-opening experience, like you're being watched by the big boys, you know?
I love that for you. What's something, you know, you have so many followers, but it's, you know, to lack of a better word, the facade of you, of what you want to put out into the world. What's maybe something that people would be surprised to know about you?
Oh, I mean, the most recent thing is that I played bass in a Prince and the Revolution tribute band for about 4 years.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah, how many instruments do you play?
I play, I'll say 2 solidly. I can kind of
bass and guitar,
but I can diddle my way around drums and keys if I needed to.
Drums, I could never do. I play guitar.
Yeah.
But nice. Not very well. I mean, I was like super into guitar when I was in high school, a little into college, and I literally picked it up for the first time yesterday for the first time in like a month and a half or something like that. But don't be impressed. No, don't be impressed.
No, don't be impressed. I have nothing to write home about.
I used to just be like, I'm going to learn a song and I'm going to impress everybody.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, well, people just sing along with me. You know, I'm going to play A, G, D, and E minor.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. I mean, to get some people going.
Just some campfire songs.
Just campfire songs.
Yeah.
That's it for days. I'm the campfire song guy. But also, because you don't want to be the guy diddling around on guitars.
Yeah.
It's like, look at this idiot. Like,
no, see, I was that guy because I wanted to impress people at first.
Yeah.
So I was that guy. I learned my.
I think every guitar player goes through that.
Oh yeah, because I was that guy. Like I'd show up at Wade Oval with my guitar.
No.
And I wanted to be that guy that sat under a tree, sitting on a blanket
by yourself,
playing like "Time of My Life" by Green Day. You know what I mean? By myself, hoping to attract a crowd.
Was that your ultimate goal?
That was my goal.
This is how I'm going to make it big. I'm going to go to Wade Oval.
I had a vision. I was going to show up to Wade Oval, play my guitar. A couple people would stop and listen. Then a couple people would turn into 10, and then before I knew it, I was signed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Literally.
In reality, you got like 13 cents from some guy that was just like, "Can you just shut?"
Hey. Like, look at this homeless man with a nice voice. Here's a few quarters. Sir, more jester. You know what I mean?
Sir, I have a request. Oh yes, please stop.
And that's where it usually ended off. That's where it usually led to.
Absolutely. Real quick, before I want to do a fantasy draft with you.
Let's do it.
I do want to talk about, before we get to that, you're speaking at Vocation 2024 in Cancun. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I did the voiceover circuit pretty heavy about a year and a half ago, but last year I couldn't really do it because of some family stuff. But now I got an opportunity to speak at one of the probably most fun, most out there, most unique voiceover conventions out here in our realm of things.
Yeah.
Every year, Vocation, they go somewhere just extravagant to host.
I also pronounced that wrong. I realized Vocation. That makes so much sense.
To be honest, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Oh, okay. I just said vocation, but now VO is vo is
no worries,
voiceover.
no worries,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Okay,
But I got offered the opportunity to go to Cancun and talk about social media and voiceover, and I was like, yes, please, let's make that happen.
Yeah.
So it's coming up in this April, like last week of April. I'll be out in Cancun teaching voiceover and teaching social media.
So what's your message going to be for that? Because I think that's super interesting to be able to now be in a position where you can share some of your knowledge. Because I've been in this business for 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And I love talking to college students a lot because when I was a college student, I was like, this is the coolest thing ever.
Definitely.
I would be on TV for free, and I just thought it was like the coolest thing ever. But it has to be awesome to be in that position now.
No, I mean, honestly, I've done a few of these conventions before, and my message is just always to use social, like we were talking before, use social media. There's free marketing, free branding, free promotion, networking, just to, one, create a brand, two, promote your brand, and three, just to kind of vent, have fun,
Yeah.
And to be able to say that people are reaching out to me to teach this thing, it's humbling to know that I have a little bit of a presence online, enough to say that people want me to show them how to do it, humbling.
Yeah.
Probably the only word that comes to mind for it.
Sure. And now that I'm thinking about this too, your like most famous TikTok sound is this is a work of art.
Yeah.
This is bull.
My bread and butter at this point, honestly.
And that's like probably 3 years old now at this point?
It is. It's 3 years old, and it came by accident. I literally was just making honestly, one of my videos just kind of create controversy, just kind of get a conversation going. I was doing like back and forth between paralleled food, like Pop-Tarts compared to toaster strudel, flats compared to drums and stuff like that. Like this is you know what I mean? And then people started to use the sound for like fashion, for
I have seen it on so many things.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And
it's like an OG TikTok sound now.
And then people started to kind of pull the sound. There's a guy, Dub C, he put into one of his songs or whatnot. I had to reach out to him and say, hey, I need a little bit of cheddar for that.
He did. Yeah. Did you get paid?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He took care of me. He took care of me. He understood. He didn't understand that he was kind of stealing my voice.
Yeah.
Money from it. I had to explain it to him like, hey, I need a little something for that.
Yeah.
But then the pinnacle of that is that Hidden Valley Ranch reached out to me.
Wow.
And they wanted to buy the rights to it.
Oh,
and
dude,
I'm like,
King of Kings.
you know what I mean? And I'm like, you can't buy the rights to it because I still want to use it, but let's strike a deal. And we struck that deal, and it became it became the voiceover for one of their national campaigns, TV campaigns, you know what I mean? So, it went from literally a dumb 30-second TikTok to a national advertising campaign on TV.
Dude, and especially for Hidden Valley Ranch.
For Hidden Valley Ranch.
For us Midwestern folk.
Bro, you know what I mean?
Dude, ranch is everything.
Exactly.
So I was telling someone about this the other day, is that, so I'm, Northern Illinois, very close to Wisconsin, even going into Wisconsin. I was 5 minutes away.
I got you.
I love cheese curds.
Oh,
okay,
definitely.
Duh. You know, come on. I would go to like these pretentious places.
Yeah.
And even like it's a little bit kind of prevalent in Wisconsin too,
Gotcha.
of like, you know, can I have cheese curds? And then can I also have a side of ranch?
Yeah.
And they, all the time. Oh, our cheese curds are so good that you don't need ranch.
My God, it's
cute,
like, but
here's the thing. I never, like, I don't need it to live.
Yeah, of course.
But I want it, and I always want it.
I would like to request it. I like to have that option.
And it's like, okay, so I could take your really, really good cheese curds.
Yeah.
And you want to know how I can elevate them?
Yeah.
A little Dunkaroo of ranch.
Yeah, why not take the 10 and elevate it to a 12? Why would you not want that opportunity? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense. And I feel like I was late to the game on the cheese curd game because my first time having cheese curds were actually at
Culver's.
Bro, like literally, I had my first time. I had never heard of just fried cheese balls or whatnot, and then I had theirs, and I'm like, okay, I must explore this realm more.
That's God talking to us through food.
Honestly,
Right
you know
there.
what I mean?
Yeah.
It's an out-of-body experience, you know what I mean?
Thank God that Culver's is not pretentious. Because they do not scoff, they do not bat an eye. Maybe in the back of their mind in Wisconsin they're thinking that.
Maybe at the corporate office, you know what I mean?
I don't care.
We don't care about their feelings.
Yeah.
Just feed us our cheese curds. Bro.
Exactly. So now that we've talked about cheese curds, I think we get to the fantasy draft. And I want to talk about, let's do the fantasy draft of the best fast food items.
Okay.
So like a burger or something like that.
Of course.
You're the guest.
Okay.
And the professional.
Yeah.
I will let you go first.
Okay.
So we'll do a snake draft. You go first, back and forth type deal, and we'll do 4 rounds.
And just to clarify, we're doing like just general things, not like specific from this brand. We're just doing like this.
No. We're doing specific.
Sounds good.
Specific.
Okay. I got you there.
Yeah. All right.
First round, I am going to say, easy one. The fries at Rallies.
Fries at Rallies.
Or Checkers if you're in the part of the country that calls it Checkers.
Okay.
Yeah. But fries from Rallies or Checkers.
I wasn't expecting that. Is your favorite fast food item?
That might be the most universal one. I'll say that is my most agreeable favorite.
Okay.
I'm going to go with a draft that just makes people say, you know what? He's right about that. That's my first one. Yeah.
All right. Thinking strategically over here. I'm going to go Crunchwrap Supreme. Taco Bell.
That was my number 2. God. All right.
Dude, you got to take I'm coming out swinging.
You have to.
Pal.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Got you. So I got to go with the Taco Bell.
Now you're getting serious.
I got to go with the Taco Bell pick. We're going to say the Doritos Locos Tacos from Taco Bell.
Not a bad pick. Not a bad pick.
Yeah.
All right. Ooh, so here's the thing. Do I want to cater to the Cleveland crowd?
I see where you're going already. I think I'm not going to like this.
Galley Boy, Swenson's.
Son of a... All right. Oh, God. See,
I even gave you the first pick.
No, my thing, no. Because
you don't like
I
Galley
would
Boy.
never pick Swenson's because
okay.
Swenson's is like literally just so, and people are going to jump me. People are going to find my house for this. Like literally, Swenson's is so overrated. Like literally, there's nothing good about that restaurant at all. Like literally, they don't season their fries. I've asked them like, hey, can I put a little extra salt on my fries? Oh, we don't do that. We'll give you salt packets. And I'm like, you are a customer service based restaurant. Hey, I made you a request. If I asked you to not put cheese on my burger, you do that, but you're not going to put salt on my fries. And then when people were hyping up Swenson's for so long before the one over there on Cedar Road came by me, and I was hyped. I was literally passionate. I was like, oh my God, the content's going to be off the wall.
Yeah.
And then I took that first bite of that raggedy burger, and I was like, oh, so this is a disappointment. I gotta tell the world about why this is such a disappointment. And literally, I made that video, and literally another one of those moments where people were at my throat. You would have thought I talked crap about Mother Teresa. Literally, people were just so passionate about these little half-baked burgers, and I just never understood the hype. So you do you, bro, but it's like...
So he doesn't like my number 2 pick.
I'm sorry, to say the least. It's okay if you want to eat it. I will say this. The burgers, if nothing else was open, I just needed a patty. You know what I mean? I just needed a burger.
You still wouldn't go.
I'd drive 10 minutes for it, but I wouldn't choose it over...
What about the jalapeno poppers?
It's food. It's food, yeah.
Noted. Not a Swenson's guy.
That's not me.
Yeah.
No, that's not my cloud. You know what I mean? No.
All good. All right. You got you're on pick number 3?
I'm on my pick number 3.
So what do you have so far? You have the Rallies,
Rallies fries, and the Doritos Locos Tacos.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Ooh, fast food.
Just so you know, these are all time. You can pick any menu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I think I'm going to go with The McNuggets. The McDonald's McNuggets.
It's a classic.
Classic.
Just right down the middle. Just that's a 300-yard drive.
It's a standard.
You know, right?
Industry standard, if you will.
It is good.
Yeah.
All right. I did have nuggies on there too. Chick-fil-A Chicken Sammy.
It's like your telepathy's in there somewhere. You just know where I'm gonna go.
Except the galley boy.
The galley boy. I don't know where you got that. I don't know how that. Why that? I respected you before that one. All right. But fair. The Chick-fil-A. We are going to go. We don't have any sweets in here. We're gonna go with the old McDonald's apple pies, the old fried McDonald's apple pies.
Yes.
Before we got all health conscious and we started to care about living long. Ooh.
I love that people went out. I mean, I understand if you're like lying about putting things in your, products or food or like putting the public at risk. Yeah. I love that people come after McDonald's and be like, "You guys aren't healthy." It's like, no kidding.
Expecting?
Like, what'd you
Burgers
expect?
Are fries. You thought we were going to find out that burger was 50 calories?
Yeah, right?
Like, you really thought that the animal fat was like good for y'all.
I full well know that when I take a bite of a McDonald's burger and there's grease dripping down my hands, that this is not going to be good for my longevity.
You know what I mean? We're here for a good time, not a long time.
Exactly.
No, I'm joking with that, but it's like, moderation.
Yeah.
We're not eating this stuff every day, and you'd be surprised how people come at me in my comments like, "Oh, wow, you don't have long to live because you eat this stuff every day." And I'm like, no, I literally post one food review a week. The rest of my stuff is like lists and, I post this one burger video a week.
Yeah.
And people think it's literally all I eat, 3 meals a day, 7 days a week
Yes.
or whatnot. Like, bro, you are seeing 2, maybe 3 meals I eat per week. And even then it's like a bite here and there. And you're assuming my whole life revolves around this type of food.
Yeah, you're seeing a snippet of my life.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Moderation. Enjoy your burger. Enjoy your fries. Just don't make it an everyday thing. You
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you're up. We got one more pick.
One more pick.
I'm at, okay, so you have the Raleigh fries.
Doritos Locos Tacos.
Yeah.
I have the McNuggies, and I have the fried apple pie by McDonald's.
Was that 4?
I think that was my 4.
That's 4. Yeah, I can count now. Yeah, that's good. All right, so it's my last pick.
I think so.
Ooh. Lordy.
No pressure.
What do I have so far? I have cheesy good or the Crunchwrap Supreme.
You have the
Galley Boy.
Galley Boy.
And I have the Chick-fil-A sandwich. Mm-hmm. Give me the Culver's Butterburger. Let's go, baby.
Solid.
Let's go.
Just ridiculously solid. Okay.
Thank you. I really like my list. It's not a bad list.
I dig it.
Yeah.
The Culver's was another one where I was kind of late on the draw. My first time having Culver's was 2 years ago.
Yeah. Well, it was just introduced to Northeast Ohio.
Are they only that young over here?
Yeah, really? Yeah. So like I grew up like going to Culver's. I've had it my entire life.
Gotcha.
And when they opened here, I got on the phone the moment I saw them, and I was like, I am coming live there because I want to make sure that with my little platform that you guys stay strong. And they've stayed strong. They've actually increased their footing. They started in Avon, and then they're in 2 different locations.
Yeah, one's like over there, close to like Parma or like somewhere on the west side. I know there's one. That's the one I know of.
Yeah.
I know there's like 2 or 3 around here. And I hate that there's not one closer to my little sector of the east side because whenever I get that itch, I have to drive about 35 minutes. But I do drive that 35 minutes when I have that itch. You know what I mean? It's
the best. Also, Butterburger, like low-key, one of the best hangover foods of all time.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The grease soaks up all the badness. You know what I mean? For sure.
Love it. All right. What do you want to get off your chest? As we're winding down here, this has been fun.
Yeah, it's been a blast, and it's always a blast when it's me and you. You know, the 2 snacks of Cleveland.
Dude, absolutely.
I mean, there's nothing. Just follow me on social media, S_Johnson_voiceovers on all platforms. Every last little bit counts. I love talking about Cleveland. It seems like my Cleveland fans follow me more so on Instagram than anywhere else, and I love you guys for it. But follow me on TikTok, follow me on YouTube, because I want to spread the Cleveland love everywhere. And my Cleveland videos don't do well anywhere other than Instagram because I don't have a big Cleveland fan base. And I would love to get more of a Cleveland fan base over on TikTok so I can spread the Cleveland love more on TikTok with my 7.7 million followers. So follow me there.
Yeah, join the party over there. Join the small nation that the Snack Daddy has. Real quick, speaking of Cleveland, how are the Browns going to finish this year?
we are doing so good this year, guys.
Isn't it unbelievable?
Bro, like, I went to my first Browns game about a month ago.
Yeah.
And just the
What
energy,
game was it?
It was us Steelers.
Okay, nice.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
When we pulled that out of our butts.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Because it didn't look good there for a hot little second. But then just the energy, the dog pound. We weren't in the dog pound, but the dog pound was right to our left. And literally just the energy, the tailgating, you know what I mean? And it looks like we're going to do something this year, guys.
Joe Flacco?
Bro,
so this is going to be released in a few weeks, so I hope they're still doing great and like nothing happened. Maybe we record two things like, oh, gee, dang it, the Browns.
Yeah.
Yep. Poop. And then cut it. The Browns are awesome, dude. Did you see that game? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We're going to the playoffs.
It looks like it. You know what I mean?
It is pretty incredible what they've been able to do and how many injuries that they've had. I follow McNeil on Twitter, and he posted a Browns advent calendar of all the people that are out for the season for the Browns. It's like he's like, this is the saddest advent calendar of all time.
And it's like after every injury, it seemed like for like 2 weeks there, or like about a month, like every week someone was just getting injured, and it's just like
and it's continuing.
And it's like we have the and then someone gets busted up, and then it's like and then someone gets busted up or whatnot. But we are just making it happen, and it's like I feel like I may be the good luck charm of the Browns because this is the first year that I've really been watching it, and it's like we're doing something this year.
You've lived here for 34 years, and this is the first time you've watched the Browns?
It's almost like a peer pressure thing, where like now that I'm really kind of just kind of prominent in the city, people always ask me about, what about them Cavs? What about them Browns? What about them Guardians? And I'm like...
You also do the voiceover for the teams. Bro, you should have a little bit of knowledge.
You know what I mean? So it just became a thing where it's like, it's kind of stupid for me to be recording the commercials and promos for these teams and not be watching the sports.
Yeah.
So I've just made it a point to start making it to the games, start paying attention, and it's like... I see why people watch football now.
Yeah.
The crap's exciting. And, I'm just trying to really just live up the culture of the Cleveland sports scene at this point. You know what I mean?
I love it. All right. You crapped on Swenson's. Give some love to a local Cleveland spot that you love.
Oh, yeah.
That you think other people should also check out.
Black Box Fix is easily one.
Black Box Fix.
Black Box Fix.
Okay.
My favorite location is in Legacy Village. They're a small, locally owned. They do everything from like sandwiches, and it's super indulgent. It's not health food.
Yeah.
You'll be seldom to find anything.
The Snack Daddy's not giving health food recommendations.
We're not doing that.
Come on, that's not on brand.
Not right now. Well, actually, I have something, my next one after this, but Black Box Fix is just sandwiches, really indulgent pastas, just fried fish, fried chicken, things like that, elevated soul food, if you will.
I love that.
But then something on the slightly healthier side.
Okay.
Squash the beef, if you're a vegan.
Squash the beef.
Squash the beef.
I've never heard of either. I'm glad
it's a cute name,
I'm
right?
glad
Squash
I asked you this.
the beef.
Yeah.
It's like super indulgent vegan food. Like if you want vegan mac and cheese, if you want a vegan chicken sandwich, if you want just all greens cooked really good vegan with no meat, things like that. And they're solid on like the sandwich side of things too. They're just very, very good.
Yeah.
And then I also recently discovered Tutto Carne in Little Italy.
Yeah.
A really good steak house bistro kind of a thing. They're actually locally sourced beef from the Village Butcher over there on Mayfield or whatnot. Probably the most solid like prime rib I've ever had in my life. Great steaks there too. Those may be my top three. And I'm sorry if I'm forgetting anybody. I've literally covered about 100 restaurants in the last 5 months. So it's tough to think of everybody at the same time. You know?
Absolutely. Stefan, this has been awesome. We're at an hour right now. That flew by, man.
Oh, man. It's always fun, bro.
Look at us go. All right. We'll see you for the next time. The Snack Daddy himself, ladies and gentlemen. Check out Stefan Johnson. Let's go, baby. Hey, girl. Hey. Check him out. Honestly, one of my favorite followers that an OG follow from back in the day, 3 years ago, way back in my time on TikTok. But yeah, give him a shout, and good luck for the rest of the way on what you're doing, man. Also check him out. Check out Scott Pilgrim as well, the new anime series on Netflix. You're killing it, man.
Oh, bro, I appreciate you. I'm just trying to keep up with you, bro.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah. All right. Thanks, bro.